So this I actually recorded off the laptop a couple of weeks ago, I think, somewhere back on the 8th or the 9th, whenever I had a clear sky recently, and decided I was going to go after the Rosette Nebula and test out the Celestron Focuser. And the initial, I think the very first video that I didn't get the recording on it. For some reason on the laptop it didn't record correctly for the quote-unquote first light. So technically this is the second light with the Celestron Focuser, but it's going to be first light for you guys. So at this point I've already gotten on my target with plate solve. I ran a test sub just to see how long it was going to, I wanted to go for my histogram, my ADU there. And I decided on 5 minutes at this point. Went ahead and ticked off the autofocus on the run here, as you can see, and it started off what I'm typically have seen on SGP when it comes to focusers, like as far as the moonlight. So I've had 3 moonlights over the course of the years, and all 3 of them have always given me a V, almost not a perfect V, but a very close V. But I've also seen things as far as a U, not really a V, not really a U, kind of in between, right? So this graph started off really good and coming straight down, and I thought, wow, okay, this is pretty nifty, and it took that uptick like it typically does, and I was thinking, here we go, this is golden, we're fine here. But it didn't just stop there, and it didn't give me the X like you would think it would be. So it kept running, and I've sped the video up here because you don't want to sit through this, but it just kept climbing up the other side of the graph, and I had no idea what it was doing. And I'm not going to blame this on the focuser. I don't think it's the focuser. It has to be something in SGP, and I'm not 100% sure what it is. I'm assuming it's going to be whatever settings I had in there, which I can't remember where I grabbed them from, but I know it's not effectively for this focuser. So I shut it down, cleared everything out, and then started it back up again to run it and to see what it would do. And this time it did give a decent graph. Again, it wasn't a V like we would normally think. And it wasn't really a U like we would normally think. It was kind of a shallow U. But at least it wasn't a W or an all jacked up, funky Greek looking letter, which I've had in the past before. So it didn't come up like that. But there you go. Shallow U is the way it came out, and that's what I decided to go ahead and run with. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think the settings I have in SGP for an automatic focuser, I believe, is actually still for the moonlight, and or definitely not for the Celestron. I think it was still loaded in there for the moonlight. So once it got done there, I was happy and went ahead and ticked it off. You can see that was my first test run, and at this point I just set up the second run in order to actually do the acquisition of it. So I set it for 5 minutes. I think originally I went for 20 subs. I wound up doing 30 total. So when I finished up with that, I slew on over there to Orion, right? Because everybody has to have an Orion picture, yours truly included. But yeah, I forget what happened, but the data wound up getting screwed up, and I did not keep it. But the autofocus at least worked. And here again, I didn't really get a V out of it, but I did get a shallow U, or I don't even know if you can call it a shallow U. It was more like a pothole, maybe. I don't know. But same thing, the detail was there, and the stars were pinpoint. So I don't know. The data came through corrupted, and I think that was an SD card I was using. which I got to figure that out. I think that's the reason why I had issues the first time when I was trying to record off this particular side on this particular laptop. Excuse me, onto an SD card. So I'll have to flop that out. But I think I moved over to Horsehead after this and took a photo of that instead. I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure, but there you go. There's the X. It worked. So actually, I lied on the last part there. I did not go off Orion and shoot the Horsehead on that particular weekend. I actually did that the week prior to that. I went and shot the Horsehead. I believe that was where I didn't get a chance to copy the video off the laptop to be able to show you. So I don't even know if I actually even showed that picture. I know I put it out on social media, but I'm not sure if it was actually there. But that was the Horsehead that I shot the week before this video. The information from this video was put in. So yeah. Let's move away from that. We were talking about the Heart Nebula IC 1805, and this is my heart. So I've given you my heart, people. There you go. All in, buddy. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, Celestron Focuser, 8-inch RASA 183 MC Pro was the camera I used, along with the L-Enhance filter. I did decide to process this with the reddish tint to it, despite the fact I think it's overdone with HA reds in general. But I lightened it up, gave it more of a pink look to it, which I liked. And here again, I think the focuser did a fine job. Compared to the graphs that I was showing earlier, when you blow it up, I don't know, they're nice, they're round. There's some good detail in the stars themselves, or excuse me, in the nebula. In this area here, when we sit here and look at it, there's some good data that's in there. So yeah, I think it did well. Despite those graphs, I don't think it had anything to do with the focuser. I think that has everything to do with having the right settings, and I just don't have the right settings in there. And based on the clarity of the data that's in here and good round stars, which, even though my guiding said it looked like crap, the guiding obviously was pretty good. But just good, crisp, clear detail. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to eat my words, and I'm going to say that the Celestron Focuser actually does a pretty good job. Now we just got to figure out what are those settings. So invite you people out there, if anyone knows what settings you are currently using in SGP to set up your Celestron Focuser, by all means, please share it below and let the rest of us know so that we can hook it up as well. All right, there you go, guys. Hope you're having a great week.